Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true and welcome back to the Forgotten City for the grand finale, and I mean that because, yes, when I started this series, the devs did say, please don't show the ending, that'd be a spoiler, that'd be really mean, but they've changed their minds, the game's been out a while, so when we see a white hallway, I'll say spoiler warning, it will be golden, because I think I know what we need to do. Everything is all about that big-ass building up there. Because to get into that building, I need plaques. I've got 3, and I know where the other one is. And on top of that, I need to solve Sentilla's murder. She's in the upper cistern, and I know where the key to that is too. And rather nicely, the same person has both. The downside is, it's this guy right here, and he's trapped in prison, and I can't just kill him to take it. Alright, we need to get him out. Only way to get him out is to make Galerius be the new magistrate. And to do that, well, okay. There are 6 people who voted the election for the next magistrate. 3 of them, I already know how to get them on side. So, I need to figure out how to get 1 more person on my side. So Horatius, he works for and really likes the existing magistrate. That's not gonna fly. So we're down to 2 already. Virgil, meanwhile, just tells me about the Egyptian guy down below, but I already did that mission, and he didn't decide he wanted to help me, so that leaves only 1 person. Decius is a bastard who was bribed to vote in a particular way by Malleolus, but okay. I mean, can I just bribe him myself? You see, for the moment, when the only options are Malleolus or Sentius, he just refuses to engage whatsoever. But if I was to make Malleolus step down, so then it becomes Sentius versus Galerius, at that point, I might just be able to pay him off. So, okay, I think I know what we need to do. Step 1, I'm going to test something I really should have done earlier, which is turning someone into gold a crime? And the answer is no! Oh wait, hang on, yes. Right, it is. Okay, best we get out of here in that case. So, brand new loot. Let's just give everything to Galerius. We know how to get 3 people on board immediately. Decius, my good lad, how much for you to vote for my man Galerius? And also, don't actually use the word bribe. The golden rule is weird. Because, say, you can arrange for the assassin to die. Like, literally tell the assassin, hey, go in that building when you know it's going to lead to their death. But that doesn't break the golden rule. But if you go over to Fabia at that point and say, yes, I did know that was the case, then the golden rule is broken, and that makes the statues wake up. So sometimes admitting out loud that something is a crime is enough to make it a crime. The golden rule can't really read your intentions. So, okay, what we're going to do is say very carefully, hey, I want to just give you a nice present, and how about you consider voting, and the 2 things aren't strictly connected.
Certainly, for a few thousand denarii.
Flipping done.
As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Decius.
Galerius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Flipping nailed it. In fact, hang on, wait, that would have been... Did I not need to bribe this guy? Hang on, why didn't I win last time? Because that would have been 4 votes anyway, so... Okay, well, we made it much more convincing, got it?
My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
Okay, so Malleolus has not intervened. He only intervenes if Sentius maintains his position, so okay. This is what we need. Get the tablet and hopefully get the key as well. If he won't give up the key, shoot him dead and then let's go to a new timeline.
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georges I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Okay, so he knows it was me that did it. But first, help myself to the plaque. I'll be having some of that. And Dooley, Dooley, I need that key. Yep, no trouble. There's the key. So that's step 1 right there. In fact, I don't need to do it this time loop. In fact, I've now got the plaque, so I can do the plaque stuff in a clean timeline if I need to. So, okay. Step 1, let's figure out what bloody well happened to Scintilla.
Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure?
Dooley, don't. Uh-oh. Is Dooley about to cocking break the golden rule? Like, immediately? Right, yeah, okay, so Dooley managed to ruin everything in a matter of, like, 3.5 seconds. So, okay, you've got to come up with a permanent solution. You can't just change the election in a particular way. For the simple reason that, yes, there are 3 ways the election goes. Either Malleolus wins, at which point he breaks the golden rule, everybody dies. Sentius maintains his position, at which point, yes, Malleolus intervenes, everybody dies. Or Galerius wins, Malleolus doesn't get involved, but it doesn't matter because he releases Dooley and Dooley immediately breaks the rule. So, okay, the election always ends in the timeline collapsing, but it doesn't matter because now, boom, back in time we go. And here we go, underneath the Mega Temple will be opening in just a second. A side road down to, yes, the upper cisterns. Whatever happened to Scintilla, we'll be able to find out here. Oh, captive weeping. Okay. By any chance, is that Scintilla? Is she alive? Because, yeah, we knew she couldn't have been murdered, but she could have been accidentally killed. There could have been all sorts of things that happened, but... Hello? Are you Scintilla? Because, if so, who did this to you and why?
Thank Juno, you're here. You have to help me escape before that monster comes back. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key.
Okay, when you say he, and yes, this wouldn't break the golden rule, well, okay, it probably should do, but apparently, yes, imprisoning somebody doesn't do the job. And, again, who's the he?
Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him.
Oh. Right. So that would explain why I haven't found the key, because if I kill him, I immediately paradox myself out of the city.
I'm going to take that key from around his neck, even if it means cutting his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the golden rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together.
I mean, that is possible. We know from the philosopher down below, you don't always get caught. People can just escape. So, yeah. Well, actually, no, I can't kill him. And you can't either. If Sentius dies in any way, I paradox myself out of the situation. So, okay, what are we going to do about all of this?
There won't be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say?
Okay, so... yeah, round everybody up. I'm letting you go. Let's get out of here. Yeah, but if you kill him, it's going to be a problem.
Oh, thank you. Now follow... Wait. Did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
Yes, please knock him unconscious. Do not kill him. And hello, Sentius. You're a bastard, as it turns out.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she?
Okay, why on earth did you do all of this, you utter bastards?
So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, this doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb, Al.
Aha! So, that's your... Oh, hang on. How do you remember Al?
Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one leap to the next. Whether that was Persephone's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success. How many extra days did you give me? Almost 15? I should be grateful for your stupidity. In any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
Nothing to be honest, but I'd be a bit more worried about her behind you. Though, hopefully, as I say, she's going to knock you unconscious, not kill you. So, okay. Yes, you knew there was a way out, and you could have just used it because you've got the key. So, why leave yourself trapped living the same day over and over again?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself?
Oh, I've got some bad news for you, mate. You're already dead. So, if you left, you'd just be going to a different bit of the afterlife, where you didn't have to spend the rest of eternity with the same 20 odd people who don't actually like you that much. So, okay, let's see you cheat your way out of this. No. Keep him talking. She might need a bit more time to wind up her swing or something.
There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken the golden rule eventually. It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. But where others might see tragedy, I saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to cheat death. By reliving the same day over and over again forever. And I will continue living long after your dust.
Well, okay, actually there's a problem there, which is if at any point you die, then that's it for you, because you don't make it to the shrine you need to complete the loop. Like, if at any point anybody just kills you, you're dead. Or rather, like, as dead as you can be in the underworld, which... Okay, this is a bad plan, because you need to keep doing the loop over and over, which you need to go and manually set up every single loop. If you fail once, it's over. So, okay, apparently we're done. Hit him with the stick.
I'm right here, Father.
Oh, you didn't need to set him on fire. That was unnecessary. Now he's all dead and I'm going to be paradoxed.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go.
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately I'm going bye. It was lovely to meet you, by the way. This was a good attempt, but yeah, I'm off. So long. But this time I'm down in the same spot again. So okay, hello Al.
I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping that poor woman to escape. That's a lot to take in.
Okay, so Scintilla did survive. She got the key, she left. So this is a better ending, because now at least one person gets out of the city. But, yeah, are we trapped here, actually?
Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Scintilla used, if we can find it.
Aha! Okay, so Scintilla escapes back in time. We escape the same route right now, so we can get out. Doesn't change the fact we are actually both dead, sorry about that. But, okay, we should be able to escape the city, so this is a better ending. Here we go. Path that was right here. So, exit in this direction, and we've got an escape. And this brings me... Ooh. Okay, well, I have got out, which is nice. That's good. Now, the downside is, yep, there we go, and apparently I could, in theory, just... Nope, never mind. I can't just toss myself back down the hole. Al's seen to that. But what's Karen got to say about all of this nonsense?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
I mean, some, yes, not really who. I know who she is, but why bring me here to rescue Al? What's the importance of him? You'd send people in to try and save him.
You can just call me Caroline, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
Okay, maybe the deal with Charon is because we don't explicitly believe in a ferryman concept in the modern era, she just appears as a normal person. I guess that kind of makes sense.
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
And of course the truth is I'm dead, I already knew that, but how did I die? Is that important? Because there's only a handful of people in the city, so you're not bringing everyone here, are ya?
As you wish. You were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Karen's Opal by some. And so it was my duty to bring you here.
Okay, now that explains a lot, yes, and I actually chose the origin archaeologist. I'm guessing each, career has a different story, but in every case, Al happens to be there, and he arrives just first. Gotcha.
My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Okay, so we also have an answer as to why only a handful of people end up in this city.
That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible, in light of the path you have chosen. I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're not taking us back to the land of the living, even though Charon did do that on many occasions in myth.
I see no point in keeping you here, but I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an event 2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was Scintilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Sentia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please understand, their blood is on my hands, not yours. I will live with the consequences of my actions, and all I can do is move forward, trying to show others the same compassion you showed me. I promise you that saving my life will not be for nothing. Scintilla.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Oh, go on then, why not? And yes, I shouldn't be too surprised. In the ancient myths, Charon is just constantly bringing people in and out of the underworld, like it's a flipping revolving door down there. So, alright, this is actually a pretty darn happy ending, all things considered. But I think we could do better yet. Okay, so I've now resumed right here, just before I rescued Scintilla. Okay, take two. What if I refuse to untie her and then speak to Sentius while she's still there? That way Sentius doesn't die. We might get some more information out of him.
You know, you remind me of him.
Aha, here we go. Evil villain speech about Al begins.
Al Worth. The fellow who came through the portal before you.
And once again, yes, now, within universe, I can learn about him knowing about the time loop, so I know that going forwards.
Understand that, to me, you've never been anything more than a useful idiot, and you're no longer useful.
Right, things are maybe getting a bit tense between me and him. And yes, I know I can't take it by force, but then again, we could just wait for him to fall asleep. Like, we could just, yeah, that's way easier. Just wait for him to go to bed, and then get the key. And now we can start bringing Sentia into the situation. Good.
What? Is this some kind of crude commoner joke?
No, I can literally show her to you right now.
No, surely not. Father, is this true?
I'm afraid it is.
I don't understand. Why? Why would you do such a thing?
Because she found a way out. And if you're wondering why I'm telling you this, it's because you're never going to remember any of it. All I have to do is commit a sin, and the day will begin again. Watch this. I'm going to kill you now.
And
the many shall suffer.
Okay, apparently threatening to kill someone is a sin, which is a surprise, but whatever. Okay, but is there any way to maybe speak to other people about Sentius, and thus, yeah, get them to all help me? And here we cocking go. We've got a solution. Though actually, okay, hang on. Do you need to rescue some people first? That's going to... Okay, this might override everything, I'm not sure. Okay, back to the cistern. He shows up, she sets him on fire, and at that point, hopefully, some more people survive. New tablet, let's see what we got now.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but Octavia, Lucretia, Horatius, Equitia and I will never forget you, or what you did for us. It pains us that so many of our dear friends were not so fortunate, including Ulpius and Galerius, who heroically tried to rescue Dooley, but never made it back. But there is no point dwelling on what might have been. All we can do is take this gift you've given us, and try to show others the same compassion you showed us. We promise you that saving our lives was not for nothing. Scintilla et al.
Okay, so that's maybe 5 survivors out of the town. I'm gonna be honest, it's still not great, is it? No. No, it's not. But that's fine, because we've still got the ultimate ending. We need to go and confront whoever's behind this whole bloody nightmare. So slap in the other plaques, and there we go. The full set is in place. Boom. Well, that was very dramatic, and there's the Great Temple. So, I've now got 4 names I can try and approach him with. And let's go for Hades. I do enjoy Hades. I'm, you know, more of a Hellenist than a Latinist, so there we go. That good enough? Or do I need to say, okay, let's try all 4. And then Cyrus, and finally Pluto. Flippin' done. Ah, but hang on. There are a series of hallways. So, oh, I think I see what we're doing. Okay, so the architecture in here is different to the last one. I need to say the right name. So this looks Egyptian to me. Osiris. There we go. Move on to this nonsense. And, well, it's not very Roman. So I'm guessing now we're into... yes, there we go. Nurgle territory. So that opens up that end. Okay, now that's the White Hallway. The last one, that wasn't. This, I'm getting distinct White Hallway vibes. So, ooh, suddenly it's all future-y. And on we go. Ooh, blimey. Well, this is all very sci-fi. And apparently we were in space the entire time. This whole thing... we were on a spaceship. Hello, Captain Hades. So, you were an alien the whole time. That's interesting.
Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so gracefully. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
So, you're an alien, and this would appear to be a spaceship.
That is a long story. One that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago, my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Persephone saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Persephone could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Persephone's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him that he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Persephone and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
Okay, so when you say without interference, I can't help but feel the golden rule, that's interfering. You are 100% rigging the deck. Even if the Forgotten City manages to pull this off, it doesn't fucking matter, because they only didn't sin under threat of retribution, which... does that still count? I don't know what that still counts. I feel like Jupiter's going to have something to say when you get back to Elysium. Still, let's skip to the important parts here. Yes, what Charon was saying previously. 1,000 silver coins. How precisely did you decide to distribute those?
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, Almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock. And Persephone is along with it.
Okay, everything else we already know. That's Persephone to his right and Charon to his left. So, okay, let's get on with the real business here. The Golden Rule.
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
And I can't help but feel that this is basically just cheating. But okay, how did you come up with the rules of what is and isn't a sin? These are presumably like Elysian laws or something.
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Okay, but that's a terrible basis on which to build all morality, because there's no standard. What one person might be happy to have done unto them, another person might not. So everybody's using wildly inconsistent morality. No, this doesn't make sense at all. Okay, nothing else we hadn't already figured out. But this is the key thing, okay? We need to prove to him that his morality is all messed up and none of this makes any sense. In particular, we need to find logical fallacies or obvious sins that aren't covered by the Golden Rule.
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Okay, so suicide, death, bondage, experiments on statues, abduction. Okay, probably the most obvious cases I've got would be the abduction of Sentius' own daughter by him and tying her up. That's certainly bad. The experiments on the gold statues, they are a lie. Like, that was kind of torture. So let's start with that, yes.
The midwife in the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
Because she was causing them absolute agony and just wouldn't want to be experimented on herself.
The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine.
Okay, that's... yes, not 100% keen on that.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
Okay, and we're finally getting to where I want to go. Yes, indeed. Language and words are full of nuance and are open to interpretation. The rules are inherently subjective. Everyone's going to interpret them differently. This is an incredibly inconsistent way of putting together morality.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
Okay, we're starting to get under his skin a little bit here. So, I'm right, you know it. Your system's completely bloody stupid.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue.
And, okay. I feel like I might have been a little bit too aggressive with him, actually. We might need to try this again. But if we turn him into a statue, screw it, we'll give it a go. Ooh, break chamber, seize crown. Okay, so... Oh, don't threaten her, that's bad. Okay. Then again, it might be the best bet we've got. Okay, let's find out.
Pathetic.
Okay, we're going to, oh, bloody hell, bloody hell, bloody hell, bloody hell, bloody hell. Go. Yep, there we go. Take the crown, take the crown, take the crown. Where's the crown? Does anyone know where the crown is? Go. Where is it? It's, follow Sentius back to the, where's the crown? I can't see the cocking crown. Okay, let's try this again, but this time maybe don't agitate him quite so much. Okay, this time let's go for abduction, because that was being done to other people.
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it? He did so because she sought to escape. A sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, but you don't have to punish the entire city. You could just not. You said earlier you can't interfere, but this is interfering. You're messing with the morality system by hanging a golden sword above their heads. Ah, here we go. If I just challenge him on every single point, a new option becomes available. It's no wonder people say gods are cruel. This shows just how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's the entire cocking point. There is no grasp of right and wrong. There's not going to have a nuance, shade, interpretation, context, etc. Okay, there is no perfect system.
I should strike you down for that.
And if you did, you'd be proving my point, because then you'd be murdering me for speaking up against you, which definitely doesn't sound moral, does it?
Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
Well, I didn't actually choose to come here, but, yes, I'd like you to put an end to the golden rule, because as I've just demonstrated, it makes no sense.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
Okay. We need to make sure we get this right, and oh, bloody hell, definitely don't say that, that's a bad call. Yes, indeed. How do you expect us to live without sin if you can't even do it yourself?
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
Well, you did just actually threaten to murder me, actually. So, okay. Which of these options is, yeah, the most compelling? Because he might not accept some of these sins are sins. Okay, he'd almost certainly disagree he imprisoned his beloved, even though he kind of did. Trapping people in the city against their will. That's definitely true. Terrible punishment to hundreds of people, some for minor sins, and some who committed no sins at all. It depends how you interpret sin, but let's start with, yes, you've trapped people in the city against their will. That's got to be a sin, imprisonment.
These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist?
Okay, that's reasonable, I'll give ya. Right, let's try the other in that case. So, you've been handing out terrible punishments for relatively minor things that people didn't even know, because they don't know the rules down there. They were surprised when Ulpius jumped the first time that suicide wasn't a sin. They'd spent a long time assuming it was.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
Okay, so, just like he was saying, treat people as you want to be treated. Well, you wouldn't want to be punished for somebody else's sin.
Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
Okay, so I'll admit no, but you did just say a second ago that one of the core ways of representing your morality in Roman thinking was treat your inferior as you would want your superior to treat you. So, as a result of that, surely you should be treating us in a fair way. Okay, here's where we need to dig in. What makes you think that it's justified for you to treat us in a way that you wouldn't want us to treat you? We need to dig into this option. We need to find the logical fallacies.
Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom and a mastery of technology you cannot begin to imagine.
Okay, so yes indeed, you think you're just better because you've lived longer and have a fancier iPads?
Because that is the source of our power over you.
Ah, now we're getting into some morally dubious stuff. So, you're not obligated to treat us well just because you're more powerful?
You could say that.
Oh, we're starting to get somewhere now. And there we go, just as I was saying, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you.
My kin have no superiors.
Not yet, but what happens if you run into a superior alien race that are even more long-lived, and even wiser, and have an even bigger, better iPad?
I suppose there is a hierarchy among my kin, with Jupiter at the top.
Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere, yes?
If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no. The very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument, when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
And a hypocrite. Don't forget hypocrites.
Your hubris grows tiresome. You will make a fine statue.
Uh-oh. Okay, I might not know enough yet to talk him down. Or alternatively, I need to get that cocking crown. So yes, get the wooden bow, get the crown if we can, anyway. And then get the crown, get the crown, get the crown, get the crown, get the... Where's the crown? Have I got the... Wait, I've got it, yes. Do I get the... Is the crown there? Did I get it? I don't know if I've got it. I may or may not. Okay, I've got the crown. Now it's time to GTFO. Just go. We're leaving. At this point, I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to get away with it, but we'll give it a chance. And oh, I could show him the crown. Is there a reason I want to show him the crown? I don't know, but I might want to.
I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
Okay, fun thing. Time loop, which you may or may not actually be aware exists.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
Okay, I feel like this level of threat is not necessarily going to be the right answer, actually. But, okay, I could do this all day. Magnificent.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium, humiliated and alone.
Yep, there you go. That's the choice. Have fun with an impossible and unfair moral choice. Now you know how we all feel.
I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Persephone was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
I mean, that's okay. We just kind of want to, you know, get back where we were going. No trouble there whatsoever.
Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Oh, Okay. Any particular reason?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
Okay, so I think we can all agree under any system of morality, what I've just done is a bit on the dicey side, but then, on the other hand, this guy was toying with us. Maybe it's about time somebody toyed with him. This way, everybody does get what they actually wanted. His beloved never wanted to go back to Elysium. She wanted to be a human. She wanted to stay here. She's gonna get it. Everybody gets to survive and be freed. Honestly, I feel like we've actually stumbled across something pretty effective here. This is a good ending. Aside from him, but he's a dick, so we don't care. And here we go again. Me and Al. Lovely. Though, oh. Okay, in this universe, though, I don't actually know where the key is to get myself out of the city. Because the door's presumably locked in this continuity. Because Scintilla never escaped, so... Okay, hopefully Al knows a way out of here.
Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Persephone, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to her. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
I'm going to assume yes. Yes, I did. Though, admittedly, I didn't tell Galerius to get Dooley out. That would have just naturally happened as a result of the election, which he probably would have won, because there were enough people to make it happen at the end of that day, so... Okay, anyway, yes, that was me.
Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Okay, good. He does know the way out. We can get back to Charon. Okay, the exact same conversation with Charon. This time, there's no tablet, because, well, Scintilla presumably did survive, but maybe everyone was just popped back in their lives and thus... No, hang on, Galerius left a tablet. Okay, well, we got part of the story from Galerius. I'm going to assume somebody let Scintilla out. You know, hopefully. Oh, hang on, I get an epilogue. Okay, well, this is definitely the proper ending if I get a bloody epilogue and everything. Right, here we go, in the British Museum or something.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Okay, come on, a happy ending. Let's go for really super awesome mega happy ending. And...
You're finally here. Remember me?
Okay, I'm not 100% convinced that displacing Romans and putting them in the modern era is the happy ending you're going for, Gabe. That'd be one hell of a bloody culture shock.
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
Okay, well, he seems happy about it, and apparently he's dating the priestess.
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
Okay, I feel like there'd be more difficulties just integrating a whole bunch of adults who just appeared out of nowhere into the modern world, especially as we did establish earlier he only spoke Latin, but I was hearing it as English. Is Charon translating permanently? Did she give them English? I don't know. There are. Okay, game, this opens up a whole bunch of questions. But of course, in this universe, these people and me never really knew each other, gotcha?
Last I heard, MacLeod kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Okay, so some people did not adjust well to being in the future. Here's the big thing. So, Sentia, or Cynthia these days, what happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Good for him. Good. Someone did bother rescuing Centella. So there we go. Basically, yes, everyone who was nice made it out. They're all filthy rich, because apparently the little tokens they were left with by Charon proved to be incredibly valuable. So everyone's loaded. Everyone is surprisingly well adjusted, apart from the bad people. The bad people got screwed over and they're now dead or insane. With the exception of Decius, who's just fine, apparently. So that's a bit unfortunate, but okay, this is definitely a 99% happy ending.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Of course, Persephone.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
Right, lovely to meet you. I really hope you wanted me to drive off Hades, so you'd be alone as a human in the future, by the way. Because, that's where you are, so I hope you're having fun.
I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of a cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier, he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We were all fortunate you came along when you did.
Okay, so it was an act of mercy, but it didn't work out. Also, yeah, what happened to Charon?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
Okay, Forgotten City 2 coming at some point, love it!
Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Yes, give or take presumably 980 previous lives, and are you about to tell me that crowd noise off to my left is all those people? Because seriously, some of them are not going to adjust well.
Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
And there we go. The final ending. I rescued everyone, and they cannot possibly all adjust to the modern world. But let's just assume they do. And there we go, that's the end, or to be precise, all the ends of the Forgotten City. And, okay, some of the movement might be a tiny bit clunky, some of the dialogue could have used a little bit of a trim, but these are tiny complaints. It's been a lovely experience. This will be on my Games of the Year list. Yeah, this is a really damn good time loop game that really challenges you to think, to learn. It doesn't hold your hand too hard. Love it. Absolutely love it. 100%. Whatever the Forgotten City 2 looks like, whatever Charon is building up in space, don't you worry. We will be featuring it just as soon as I can get my hands on it. So hopefully you are looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd. And this has been the Forgotten City. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Were we doing virtual reality, or was that just like a metaphor for lesbian sex? And then he smacked me lightly across the face with the money! What? This is... where is this going? What's happening? We're gonna buy a whole new bin, and we're gonna write Brendan on it, and we're gonna put him in it and toss it off the pier.